I'll be having a 3 p.m. And then we've got a bunch of stuff always happening at the library.
Any day of the week, man. Just go.
Just go. Books and Babies, 10:15. Story time, noon. That's what we got going.
And they also have books there, just so you know that you can actually like read.
Well, and like crazy thing that I found out, and you probably already knew, but if there's a book you want that they don't have,
Look at it.
they can get a loan from a library that does have it
Yeah.
and get it shipped to them, and then you can take it out. So, like, literally any book you want.
That's
you
been
can
like a
find.
library thing since, I don't know, libraries been around.
Do I look like the type of person that has?
I'm
been
surprised
in
you
the
can
library?
read.
Oh, I can read because otherwise I couldn't play any of the Final Fantasy games from back in the day.
What if you got one of the Japanese versions where it was all in Japanese?
The hard part with that is,
And those games were always better, but they were hard. You're like, I wish I knew some of the dialogue here.
well, because back then they didn't have like the quest markers, right?
Mm-mm.
So you're just like,
I have to match this symbol. I don't know where I'm going.
We've also got trivia. Happens Thursday the 29th at the Crawford Distillery.
Trivia.
Well, that's something. I mean, Crawford Distillery also has bingo. I feel like we need to go and be the announcers at bingo. What? I got asked to be a special guest speaker at an event on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
The Women's Coalition is doing an event that I don't know too much about it yet, so I can't really advertise it for them right now. But there is something on Saturday for that, and they're doing. They brought up some comedians, and then they're doing a panel, and they asked me to be one of the people on the panel. So they've got 2 specialists, and then me.
Wow.
Exactly.
They don't know who you are.
I got asked to do that a couple days ago.
You're like, we need a person just to fill some time. Who do we know who likes to talk?
Well, they said they wanted 2 specialists, and they thought they were trying to look for someone that can be somewhat comical but respectful at the same time. And they're like, we thought of you. And I was like, okay.
You're going to sit there the whole time, so I built, be respectful, please. Respectful.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like even when we're on the radio, there's sometimes you have to be like, is that something I should say?
Yeah.
And every time I think that, I don't say it.
Yeah.
Usually saves your butt. If you have to think if it's okay, then it's probably not okay.
Most people should probably take a second and think before anything comes out. It'd probably save us a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I was younger, there was no way I thought about what I was saying.
Oh, God, no.
I just said, and even now, when I'm around like my friends, admit it, I just say whatever the heck pops into my head.
You don't even know what pops into your head. It doesn't even go through your brain. It just comes out your mouth.
But when I'm around people I don't know, I'm like, it's like I broke. People are like, are you okay?
You go into safe mode like a computer. Can't do that function.
Well, I think that's pretty good for the St. Jude Pumpkin Patch will be happening October 21st. I'm jumping way in the future here.
Go get yourself a pumpkin.
But I always enjoyed that. I like doing the wagon ride thing.
Mm-hmm. A little train.
Yeah. It's always fun. Well, what do you got for us?
It's fall-ish. Almost. It's my favorite time of the year.
I have no idea what the seasons are. I just know hockey season and non-hockey season.
Yeah, fall and winter. Hockey season. Well, hockey tends to trickle into spring, too, because it's a ridiculously long season game. Almost, I think it's longer than baseball. Pretty long.
Baseball has the longest season.
Yeah, because baseball kicks into like in April.
I don't even think they get time off.
But yeah.
The only way you get time off is if your team's bad.
Yeah, right. But, yeah. Spent my morning watching football on the couch. Being very angry at my team. And we won.
Hey, you're kind of telling me about that.
Dude, seriously, have you ever like watched your team win a game and you're like, we played so bad today, I would rather take a loss.
I don't know. That's a hard one for me because I mean, with you, your season's actually pretty short. It's only got 12 games,
17.
17. So that's kind of short. Where mine have 82. And no, I would take any win.
You think in a 17-game season that I would take any team win too, but I'm like, no. And it was the thing is like we played the Lions today, notoriously unlucky, terrible team, facing a notoriously unlucky and terrible team. So it's like I watched it going. We went down 14-0 right away. I'm like, I changed the channel.
You did? You
I
changed
did.
the channel?
I did.
And then they started winning.
And I went to something else, and then they tied the game. So I turned it back on, and then they started losing again, so I changed it again. I don't believe in that superstition. Like, if I watch it, they're going to lose, but it makes you feel like it sometimes, doesn't it? Like, where you're like...
What was my team losing by last year?
I know.
4?
Yeah.
And then you're like, they tied it.
But that was like 4 minutes left in the third period.
Yeah, but I stopped watching it.
And you messaged me like, stop messing with you. I'm like, I'm not messing with you. They actually tied it. He's like what? And they ended up winning that game in overtime, didn't they?
Yeah, and then I watched overtime. They won. Mm-hmm. So I'm good to watch overtime.
Just not anything else. Mm-hmm. If you're tied before overtime, you're like, nope, got to change it.
Yeah, I have the strong belief if we're winning after the first or losing by 1, I can continue to watch.
Those are the crazy superstitions. Though. Like, you're a hockey player. Hockey players are just as bad as anybody for superstitious and weird routines. You have to eat Taco Bell before a hockey game.
Oh, man, that's so great.
I don't know how you keep it in.
I don't.
Oh, so that's why no one goes anywhere near you.
That's right.
But I mean, like sitting there watching the game and your team's losing, well, I got to change jerseys, or I got to take my hat off, or turn my hat around, or when I played, we did the rally cap thing. That's just something to get that's completely different to me because you're trying to get your mind changed in the game. But let's be honest, the dude sitting at home drinking the 12-pack of Bud does not have any effect on how good or bad his team is going to do that day.
No, I think it's more the when you watch a sport. I don't know how many people I've met that they feel like they're on the team. So because you can't physically be there, you do things in your head mentally to help your team.
Well, and those teams actually kind of feed into that too. I think they're get our jerseys, help support our team. Like, they don't know you.
Yeah.
Like I'm yelling at Kirk Cousins through the TV today. He can't hear me. But he can hear. But he can hear the 68,000 fans in the stands booing him.
Well, here's the question though: like, you think like butterfly effect. If you didn't yell through the TV, would they have won?
No.
Right.
But yeah, and then there's the end of the game. I know, guys, you cannot talk to them if their team loses on Sunday. Don't talk to them about football until Wednesday because they are so mad.
I've been there.
I know.
But I mean, I actually was pretty happy with the Leafs this year. Last year, I was really upset.
Why are you happy this year?
I thought that they played enjoyably well, and they lost to the team that made it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was a good series. But the year before, they lost to the last place team while being up 3-1 in the series.
I forgot they lost to Montreal.
Yeah, but then Montreal went to the finals.
With only a goalie.
Yeah, I know, but that's Tampa Bay kind of made it with only a goalie.
No, Tampa Bay's
49 shots to 20, and Toronto lost the last game.
Yeah, it was Carey Price in net. Arguably the greatest goaltender of his time. Like, in his career there. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury's probably there with him. Marc-Andre, the only difference is Andre Fleury's got, 3 cups? Or do you only get 2 with Pittsburgh? He got 2 with Pittsburgh because Crosby helped him get 1 or 2.
Yeah. I think he's only got 2.
I mean, if he doesn't have the cups, who's the better goalie? Would you take Carey Price or Marc-Andre Fleury?
I will take them going on to Toronto.
Andre Fleury still plays, so there's still that chance. You just have to get him out of Minnesota.
Wow.
So, and I watched a video this weekend of Marc-Andre Fleury. Him and Crosby have a beef going on. They've had it since they played together, where they prank each other.
Yep.
Well, apparently, Crosby, the last time he did it, stuffed Marc-Andre Fleury's goalie gloves with chewed gum.
Oh, man.
So Fleury did it to him in his gloves and then took all of his gear out of his bag and off of his rack because they were playing in Minnesota. And he stuffed it all together and wrapped it up with sock tape.
So that's the kind of stuff that I miss when I was playing with like a team.
Well, and the thing is like people are like, well, our teams are rivals. Yes, on the ice, they're rivals, not Minnesota and Pittsburgh, but off the ice, they probably hang out at the bar together after the game.
I think there's a select few that won't. But those
there are always, you've played hockey long enough to where there was guys that you just didn't get along with, period.
Oh, I used to love.
Even on your own team.
I had guys that I played with that I knew as friends that were from different cities.
Right.
And then we'd play against them and we'd try to kill each other. And then afterwards,
Game's over.
and we'd just have a ball, hang out.
Right? The game's over.
There would still be the insults of whoever won.
Right.
But I mean, other than that, it's different. I mean, I guess it's almost like trying to teach yourself the difference between your brain when you're working and when you're off. Because there's some jobs, like I always think, like police, like sometimes they see stuff that it's got to be hard that when they go home to forget
Well,
about it.
I think police officers can technically still do their job even off duty. They just have to call an on-duty officer too.
Yeah, I know they're supposed to still protect the queue.
And technically, citizens can too. There's a citizens arresting, but there's a lot of gray area in that. And I don't see nothing.
Citizens arrest, you're not allowed to be wrong.
Right? Would you just? I don't know what I did here. I don't know. Did you tase the guy? Well,
I just found him like that.
Where'd the taser come from? He fell on it.
Guess what I did today?
What?
I shot like an AR. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt a little American today.
You've never shot an AR-15, huh?
No. I've shot some like normal like handguns and a rifle. Just a hunting rifle.
Let's be honest, the only difference is how they look.
That and you could have 30 bullets and just keep pulling the trigger.
The rate of fire, yes.
Yeah. I'm not used to that. And it was weird because the whole time he's like, so are you liking it? And I was like, this kind of just feels like I'm going for a walk. It doesn't feel any different.
Yeah.
But I can say I did it.
It's hard not to smile because it's kind of fun. Like you're like, this is fun. Shooting a gun is fun.
I had more fun shooting my 22 though.
Right.
I like the feeling of loading every shot. I feel like I'm in the West when I do that.
Oh, I have no lever action now. It's fun.
Well, and I even was doing the thing where I shoot it and then I turn it and then launch it straight up.
Well, see, mine actually kicks it straight up. So, and I have a shotgun that's a single shot. So when you crack it open, it shoots the shell back out. So you can pop another one in. So if you're not paying attention, it'll catch you right in the face.
Well, I was randomly trying to make it fly over at the other guy.
That stuff's hot, man. You get one down the shirt, it burns. So, yeah. I like to shoot guns. But
I prefer to shoot pucks.
pucks are fun too. So, I got a question for you. So, you don't watch a ton of baseball, but you know baseball.
Yes, I know baseball because I never get put on a team here.
That's softball, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still baseball. It's just a different ball.
And they pitch it way slower so you can hit it.
Yeah, that's the best.
I would excel at that. Like, you pitch that thing at me at 80 miles an hour. I'm like, I can't. Slow down.
I still think they won't put us on a team because they're like, oh, we can't have guys that don't really play Venus.
Because Albert Pujols and Aaron Judge here, we'd be just homers every time. Speaking of Aaron Judge is set to break Roger Maris's or tie his record. He's one home run away from. I don't know if you know who Roger Maris is.
No.
He holds the record for most home runs hit by a Yankee at 61 in the 1950s. I'm wrong. He's in the back in the 1950s and 60s. He broke Babe Ruth's record. And they're thinking that he could legit have a record at the home run record of 72, which is the most home runs in a season. Now, my opinion of it is Barry Bonds holds the record for 72 home runs in a season while juicing. I don't think his record should count.
I don't know. I mean,
Barry Bonds went from 180 pounds wet to over 240 pounds in a season. And he's like, I didn't do it.
are we talking like V8 juice?
Right? He adamantly stated he was not on steroids for the longest time. I don't think his record should count. Now, granted, it doesn't help you hit the ball, but it sure helps you hit it a lot further.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could probably do it.
Juice or hit the ball?
I don't know. Choose it. Choose your pick.
Right?
Well, although I feel like if I juiced, you would just look at me and be like, "Are you okay?" And I just start crying and slam stuff, and you'd be like, "You took the wrong one."
Right. So I don't think his record should count. That's just me.
Well, do they still count it if he was found that he?
They have an asterisk next to his name. Him and Mark McGuire both, and Sammy and Sammy Sosa. McGuire got 71, I think, and then Bonds ended up with 70. Like 2 or 3 years later, Bonds broke his with 73.
So what you're saying is they have an asterisk because they're now
So
the special club of
the weird thing about baseball's got my biggest issue with baseball is the unwritten rules of baseball. This is like what? It's not a rule. Then it's an unwritten rule. Like it's disrespectful to bat flip when you hit a home run. It's disrespectful to the pitcher. You shouldn't do it. It's an unwritten rule. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but you shouldn't do it.
There's no unwritten rule that you can't point between your legs when you get 5 ball on goal.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing, but it's completely okay and nobody cares when the pitcher does like a big flex or something when they get a big strikeout. They don't care. But the minute a batter does a bat flip when he hits the ball, it's disrespectful to the pitcher.
Well, I'm going to tell you, either you or Amanda, I'm going to shoot high glove. And when you guys go to grab it and it goes in, I'm going to be close enough that I can high five you.
You tried that last year. I don't think you got a flutter win. I mean, did you?
No, but I'm not going to flutter. I'm going to snipe that one.
Oh, you're going to snipe that?
Yeah, and then make you be like, oh, man. And while you're looking back, I'm going to high five you as I go by. That's going to be my insult this year.
I get a kick out of it. I get the people are like, man, glove saves are cool. They look really cool. Most goaltenders, make them look cooler than they really are. For any of you who don't watch hockey, you'll see a guy make a glove save with his glove, and he'll windmill his arm like, oh my God. He doesn't.
Well, it'd be like in baseball, catching a pop fly and then
whirling your arm around.
Making it look like it pulled you back into the ground.
Right. There's a lot of accentuation there. I like it when I make a glove save because I made a save. That's great. It's not my favorite type of save, honestly. I'm like, eh. I prefer the blocker save because it's more difficult.
I prefer the one that the goalie missed.
That's not a save.
Yeah.
So you prefer the non-saves.
Mm-hmm.
Although the ones that go off the knob of my stick are fun too. I had a couple of those on you. You're like, that. And people look at you like, do you mean to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, always agree.
Yeah.
That's just like...
Because I can see the top of my stick that's behind my head.
That's just part of me.
Right. Yeah.
All right, we've been talking sports a lot. My wife's probably rolling over.
Oh, well, fine. So, how about some good Samaritan stuff?
All right, what do you got?
A lady was traveling with her sick 11-month-old daughter.
11-month
Older. She was multitasking. She pre-boarded the plane carrying her baby while lugging a stroller, diaper bag. Everybody with a baby's been here, man. Like, you're going on a 5-minute trip to the grocery store. Oh, got to pack the luggage. But also, I'll get to that in a minute, Amanda. Barry will appreciate that one. An oxygen machine down the aisle. But as she's doing this, she's struggling out. She sees a guy standing in first class, sees her, and he goes up to a stewardess and asks, "Can I switch my seat with her?" And pretty soon, this lady with their sick baby sits down. The stewardess comes up to her and goes, "You need to go with me." And she moves all the way up to first class. She's like, "Why?" A gentleman switched seats with you so you would have more space and make it easier for you and your baby to have a flight.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Right? And before she gets to thank the guy, he got off the plane, and so she didn't get to say thank you. But thanks to there are a few things that I love about social media, and one of the things is you can find anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if they're like, all right, TikTok, we need to find this person, or Snapchat or whatever. 10 minutes, that dude is found or that person is found. Mm-hmm. Right? And so, yeah, he's like, and the only thing he could say was, the lady was crying because it was such a nice gesture on his part to give up his first class seat, which I guarantee you a lot more than Coach.
Yep.
Never sat first class, but
I've looked at it.
How many numbers are before the comma? Nope.
I've never bought something that involves a comma.
Right. Oh, so that was kind of cool. So yeah.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. I like people doing nice things for people. Gotta delete that one. So go out and do something nice for someone. It doesn't have to be like that though.
No, it doesn't have to be something with money.
Something minuscule can make somebody's day. A hello or even a smile, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. Last time somebody smiled at you just for the sake of that. Now people are like, "Why are you smiling at me, creepo?"
Yeah, I feel like when people are smiling at me, I've got something on my face.
It's just your face.
Oh, then I do have something.
You do. Yeah, but yeah, just like go grab the door for somebody, right? Mm-hmm. You see someone who looks like they need a little help carrying something or doing something.
I like having polite offs. When somebody opens the door, and you're like, "No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. But come on."
Dude, no wonder why Canada never gets anything done.
Mm-hmm. We're still waiting to get that door.
No, you get. No, you do it. No, that's mighty gracious of you, eh? Mm-hmm. We'll take you to Timmy's after this. All right.
You've never done that where you're like, "I'll go ahead," and the other person's like, "Ah," and then you're like, "Oh my God."
And then the awkward moment where you try both go at the same time.
Yeah. That's why I like it when I see one where it's like somebody's opened a door and you're like, "Oh, thank you," but there's another door, so then you could open that one and let that through. Like, "Oh, I'll return the favor."
Oh, like Percy the other night when she tried to come through my back door, I thought she was gonna wail when she ran into the door. Like, she didn't even pay attention. She just boom. I was like, I was waiting for her. Like, wait for the screen.
You know, that's
not gonna happen.
Sometimes I feel like that's why you have kids so you can watch them do
Just, you can't tell me you've never walked into a door.
Oh yeah, I slammed into it.
Oh man, like hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy.
You see some of those videos with people walking into the door, but they shatter the glass.
Oh man. Check it out, man. I like tomatoes. You like tomatoes? Yeah. Genetically modified purple tomatoes, which are even more healthy than red ones, have been approved by I don't know, somebody in England.
Okay, but wait. Are those just eggplants?
No, these are actually tomatoes. Check it out. It's a tomato. It's just purple.
It looks like a baby eggplant.
Yeah, but eggplant's disgusting. Genetically, see, people are going to freak out. It's genetically altered. Yeah, but it still tastes good.
I'm
it's
genetically
purple.
altered.
I'm not touching that. It has many health benefits and a greater shelf life than red tomatoes. It tastes like a tomato, smells like a tomato, and looks like a tomato once you cut into it, but it's purple.
Why is it purple?
I have no the reason it turned purple is because what they wanted to do is engineer.
You're having trouble with the words today.
The words. I can't speak the words. Tomato high in anthocyanin. Like why do they make like healthy words hard to say? People would be more apt to do it if they could say it. Anyway, which is an antioxidant. I know that word. Antioxidant-rich pigment found in blackberries and blueberries, which is what turned to purple. Blackberries and blueberries are purple. The team made the tone by adding 2 genes from snapdragon flower, which act like a button to turn on the flourishing production of the anthocyanin, but the healthy stuff.
I feel like, well, I mean, think about it. If we invented something and we got to name it, it's not like we're going to be calling it like the TED, right? We'd probably want to be like, let's make some stupid, ridiculous name. Because then when people have trouble explaining it, they're like, oh, the hithophrapathin, and you're like, the thistrathamathin.
No, we already do this, and I'm not saying you and I, but think of it like this, and this is a hockey analogy because this is what we do. The Michigan. Nobody knows what the Michigan is unless you've actually seen somebody do it.
I know what it is, and I know why it's called that.
Because a Michigan player figured out how to make a puck stick to his stick while he's moving, and just, now he doesn't shoot it or anything. He just puts it in the net without doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it called? That has nothing to do with what he was doing. It's who he played for. So they're like, well, we'll call it the Michigan. And now everybody's trying to do the Michigan.
It's kind of funny when you say that. It makes me feel like we're doing a dance.
Right? We're doing the Michigan.
Let's go do the Michigan.
But to me, and I'm not asking you because you know hockey, isn't that technically an illegal move? Because once the puck moves backwards, it's
only if you're on a
penalty shot. I've seen guys do it on a penalty shot, though.
Oh, yeah. Spinoramas are illegal, too.
Yeah. Because the puck goes backwards. Mm-hmm. The best part, the thing that I don't think a lot of people take advantage of, like in shootouts, is if you poke check and he loses control of the puck, stops. He doesn't get a second try.
I found
Did you find the purple tomato?
No, but I found a fun news article.
Well, do the front. Yeah, you can do a news story. Don't leave it on me.
Well, I know. I thought I'd help out this time.
Yeah, well, fine. It's about time you do something around here.
Because I found this article of a North Dakota woman charged after bringing a live raccoon into the bar.
Nice.
Yeah, so she got charged with misdemeanor counts and 2 years in jail and $7,500 in fines.
Well, let's be honest. Raccoons are kind of neat looking, but they can mess things up.
Well, I guess her family found this raccoon on the side of the road 3 months ago, like before this happened, and then they named it Rocky, typical name. And I guess it just turned into their pet, and she carried it into the bar, and then the bar called them because it is illegal to have a pet raccoon.
Mm-hmm. In North Dakota. Not all states.
But I'm just trying to think, like, if I was in a bar and somebody brings a raccoon in, I'd probably put my beer down and go home because I've drank too much.
Did that person really carry a raccoon? No, it was just an ugly cat. What?
Right, but I just can't think of why somebody, like, who made the call? Who was like, oh, I'm so mad that you have this raccoon.
So, through your entire drinking career, you've never had a really dumb idea?
Well, I've had lots of dumb ideas, but nobody's called the cops because of it.
And none of those times involved a raccoon because you didn't have one.
If I had one,
the stuff that would have happened would have been nuts. What kind of trouble can we get in with a pet raccoon?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Right?
Especially if you could train it, and then it'd be like slime.
You can train them. They're very smart. They are legal to own in some places.
Now,
the creepy thing with them is, though, they literally have hands.
Now I'm just picturing us going to a place with a raccoon that we've trained to act like a small child. Because they have
hands.
And then people are like, you're a child just getting into the garbage. We're like, Rocky, get out of there.
Dress it up like a little Jedi or something like that to say people can't see what he is. Yeah. What are you? Trash panda.
Yeah. It's Rocket.
Yeah.
We've dressed our baby up as Rocket.
But yeah, not to mention the diseases those things can carry.
Yeah.
We had an admirer.
No, they're looking at the TV up there.
What TV?
The TV that shows the events happening.
No, this is what's happening.
This is the here and now.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like Good Samaritan stories. I know.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! All right, I'm just gonna tell you off the top of my head because I read it.
Then you lost it.
Well, I won't open it. But so this mom went to Home Depot to buy parts for her son's. Her son has a disability and he has trouble walking. I wish I could open the story, but anyway. So she goes into Home Depot and she's in the aisle trying to get parts and stuff to build a walker or something for her son, because they don't have the medical insurance and stuff to afford to buy and pay, because don't get me started on this country and her terrible, terrible medical system.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on, the doctors are fine. It's everything else that sucks. But so she goes in and she wants to build him a walker so he can get up and walk around. Well, it takes the Home Depot people like, well, it's going to take us a while to get all this stuff together, so let us do it. Well, apparently the people at Home Depot got together and, you know what, let's do this, but let's do it right. Because what she was going to build would work, but it was on a budget, and you could tell. And they're like, you know what, we're going to do this. So they get a bunch of people together that work at Home Depot. Some of those people at Home Depot know what they're doing, right? Some of those guys are like retired.
I would hope so, because they show me things.
No. They'll hire you and me in a heartbeat, but I don't know. I mean, you've seen my bathroom.
Well, I mean, have you not seen my hockey ring in the back?
No,
It's not me, but I knew who to hire.
Yeah, and there's a hole dug in the back. But anyway.
Just like you brain fart.
I did brain fart there for a second. But anyway, they deck this thing out. Like, they need to go out and they get all that piece and everything. So when she comes back, she's got this really sweet looking walker for her kid, and they don't charge her a dime for it. They're like, just
nice.
Take this for your kid. You know, you're making somebody else's life easier, right? Because they got together with the store manager and they must have had to, and they all must have pitched in and paid for it, because I guarantee you corporate, and I'm like, charge them for that, because corporations suck.
Yep. But greedy.
No. But anyway, so that's cool.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Be nice to people, man.
I mean, just being nice to people seems, I don't know. I always feel better when I do something for somebody, and then instead of getting something done for me.
I don't know if I like this. That's not cool. Well, this is tragic and stupid at the same time. I'm going to read this just got sent to me. I'm going to read the headline here. This train hits Colorado police car with person handcuffed inside. Tragic, but I think it could have been averted. Why are you parked on the train tracks?
Well, I mean, where was this?
Colorado. And the person did live. That's. But my only question is why are you on the tracks? The police car.
I don't actually have an answer.
I can't think of a logical reason. You know what? The safest place for me to park my car right now is on the train tracks.
Yeah, well, like, even if you're like, oh, he's getting away, he's running down the tracks, let's park on the train tracks.
This it's a girl, actually, I believe. Yep. She was handcuffed in the back of a police truck car, parked on the tracks. And I had to read the story to know that she was parked on the tracks, because common sense goes, trains only run on tracks.
I don't know, hover trains.
Oh, God, I wish we had hover trains. But there's a video of it. Like, I'm like, why? Like, I feel like there's a major, major problem with something. I don't know what the lady did. I think I read something about road rage. She had some issues with road rage or something and got in trouble. So she's in trouble there. But why? Why the train tracks, man?
It's what all the cool kids are doing. Like, kind of like, so I don't really want to go too big into this one, but I saw this and I had to read it. Like, what do you think of when I say NyQuil?
NyQuil? A good night's sleep.
That's about it, right?
Right?
The FDA has had to put warnings to not marinate food in NyQuil,
Haven't you noticed people are marinating everything in all kinds of weird things these days?
Yeah, I guess because of the new TikTok challenge.
Oh, see,
People are
I
doing
told
like-
you, there are a few things social media is good for. Very few. The rest of it, crap.
Well, there's people doing the NyQuil chicken, so you're marinating NyQuil and chicken, and it causes a chemical reaction
Yeah.
when you heat the NyQuil.
Yeah, and it could probably kill you.
Yep. They have not had any actual reports of people going to the emergency room yet.
Yes.
But apparently, people are doing it to try to induce hallucinations. As soon as you hallucinate, it's not a good idea.
No. So the definition of a poison is anything that has an adverse effect on the human body, which means anything you drink that gives an adverse effect on the human body is technically a poison. Caffeine, actually one of the more deadly poisons to people. We consume it. This country, anyway, consumes more caffeine than anyone. But we consume it in such small doses, and so over a shorter time, it doesn't kill us, but it can.
I can't understand why people do some of these challenges though.
The Tide Pod thing, man.
Yeah.
Remember those? Why would you want to eat dish detergent?
Like, to me, the people that do those things are 100% trying to become popular, get that 15 seconds of fame.
Right?
And who cares?
A part of me just wants to let Darwin take over.
Oh, we should.
Stop putting. Why is there a warning label on a Tide Pod? Because someone ate them. Right? Why does it say "do not eat" on here? Who would eat these? Well, right. And don't get me wrong, little kids are the exception, but these aren't little kids. These are full-grown adults that are making terrible life choices.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I won't understand. I mean, I did. Well, we grew up in the. Oh man, I don't even know if I can say their name on the radio. Well, the Jack group, where they went and did all those crazy things.
Oh.
I mean, we grew up around that time, and I remember doing some of those. I never tried to reenact their stunts. We tried to make our own, but they were never like, you could die.
Oh, you're talking about Jackass, is what you're doing here. I got you now. Now it makes sense. What, the Jack group? Yeah.
I don't know if we can say that, even though it's their name.
It is their name. If I get kicked off, then
know
I
you
don't
just
get.
said it,
I don't get paid. But no, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? But I just, yeah. Well, I watch some of those shows and go. Some of the stunts are funny, like where they're running around the mini golf courses and the golf carts. That's funny. But when they start sticking things and things,
Well, that
and,
stuff's. I always like the ones where it was like in the newer one, he goes into a bed shop as an old man.
yeah,
Wants to try them all out, and then they had a guy in there that got hired to
Right.
work there, and he's working on stuff while an employee is doing stuff, and he falls from the ladder, lands on the bed that they had snuck in there. That's actually one of those air pillows,
mm-hmm.
and then launched Johnny Knoxville as this old man into the room. Like,
Yeah.
Then like you just see the employees being like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
I like those kind of ones, but some of the stuff they did is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one was they had a scene where they made people think that there was a rattlesnake loose in a room that they got locked in, but they turned all the lights off and there was no light source in there. But really what it was is they did that, they made it sound like it got released, and then 3 of them were in there. They snuck in with night vision goggles and started hitting them with cattle prods.
Yeah, like we did like weird food challenges, but it was like stuff you could actually eat. Like, hey, dude, eat this stick of butter.
Yeah, or the mayonnaise.
Did you ever do the cracker one?
What's that one?
If you can eat like 24 crackers in a minute without drinking any water,
Oh,
sounds easy enough until you get to that 18th or 19th cracker.
do kids even know what Chubby Bunny is today?
I don't what?
Where you took marshmallows and you stuck as many as you could and you had to say Chubby Bunny?
Oh,
Or Because eventually you just be like, and if we couldn't understand, then you lost.
You and I, for example, last year, my was it my son who had the bluey birthday cake?
Oh man,
The fondant challenge.
that was a bad idea.
I never felt so sick in my life after I ate that.
Well,
That was terrible.
We were both stupid, weird, hyper, and then we crashed pretty
right. Bad. And I don't think either one of us would have done it if the other one hadn't.
No, well, we both looked at each other and it was like, if you do it, I'll do it.
We got that stupid. Yeah, you think you grow out of that at some point? Like for the most part, I think I've grown. Like I see that in the hockey rink. Like I'll try it, and I'm like, no, why? Because it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's those things. If we know it's not gonna hurt, so like for me, if you're like, I'll eat the Tide Pod. If you eat the Tide Pod, I'd be like, you go ahead.
You have at it, dude. Like, and I never got into the Roman candle wars. Like, why would you want to shoot a 2,000-degree fireball at somebody's face?
I did that.
Yeah.
We had goggles.
That's what's wrong with your face.
We had goggles.
Oh, yeah? The goggles are going to protect you?
No.
So, would you do it now?
No. I feel like it's a poor choice these days. Right. But there's still a thought in my head that's like, depends who am I fighting.
Do I like the guy? Not to mention, it says right on the thing, do not hold in hand, could explode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just barely hold the bottom. It's not like it's going to fly out of my hand and hit someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we didn't have access to many firework kind of stuff in Canada. So Roman candles, I think, are illegal now, but they weren't when I was a kid.
They're not illegal here. Well, they might be here.
No, I saw them shooting them. Well, that doesn't mean anything.
You're legal to get them, but I don't know if you can only buy them in certain places, such as the reservations and stuff like that. Like bottle rockets are only legal to buy on the reservations. Which I'm pretty sure you probably shot bottle rockets at each other too. No comment.
I don't think we were allowed to have those.
Oh, bottle rockets?
Yeah. Or those ones where they're on a little stick?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we couldn't have those. We at one point were allowed to have the ones that you could, little firecrackers that you lit and then throw. But then they outlawed those because too many kids were doing the thing.
You know why things get outlawed? Because idiots like you shoot them at each other.
Well, no, there's kids like holding them in their hand and lighting them,
yeah.
And if you hold it tight enough, it won't explode. But then when they do,
it'll break your hand.
It will blew like people's hands apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Is that what happened to your hand?
Which one? I did have a firecracker go off in my hand once because I was lighting them and throwing them. But it wasn't because I was trying to keep it from exploding. I was like, see, and the crazy thing is like, people figured out that if you duct tape sparklers together really tightly, they make a bomb. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The most innocent of all firecrackers designed for 4-year-olds who can run around and go, ah.
Anything that ignites flame and consistently burns can be something.
So, as parents, and I find this really ironic, I just kind of thought about it. We were like, kids got to stay away from the stove. It's hot. You know, anything that's hot. Here's a flaming stick. Go have fun.
That's what I want to run around with.
It's 2,000-degree phosphorus on fire in your hand. There you go.
But it looks beautiful.
Yep.
And if you spin it quick, it makes letters in
the
air.
Don't go near the stove.
Yeah.
Even when it's off. It could burn you.
No. Don't put tinfoil in the microwave, but light off all these rockets.
You ever done that on accident without actually thinking about it?
Yes.
Or just like some random metal thing ends up in there and you're like, why does the microwave sound weird?
Well, I've got stuff where you get it, and then you know how you always look at the bottom to see if it's like dishwasher safe. Or,
yeah.
And it says that it's safe from like, say we go to, I can't remember what it was, but let's just say like the Olive Garden. And you bring it back, and then I'm like, well, that means the lid should be good. But you're like, nope, the lid's supposed to come off.
So, if you have glass dishware, I'm talking real glass, not like porcelain dishware, glass. Be very careful about what glass dishware you put in your microwaves because glass, when it's made, literally floats on a pool of molten metal. It can actually pick up small pieces of metal, which is why they tell you when you look at the bottom of it whether or not it's microwave safe, because that means it was made in a which way they don't do that, where they don't float it across the pool of molten of molten metal.
Magma?
Magma, you're right. But so if you look in your microwave and it looks like Thor's going crazy in there, there's odds are there's something metal going on. I've actually seen it where I put in and it's not uncommon. Like I cut up a cheap hot dog for my kid and put it in the microwave, and it started to spark because the way they process them, sometimes molecular sized pieces. I had to Google it to find out what's wrong with these hot dogs. They're bursting into flames. Apparently it's normal. It happens. It won't hurt you or anything, but it's like I really don't want to eat these hot dogs anymore, knowing that.
But there's shards of metal in it.
Right. That the microwave's kicking off.
I know how you feel. Like now I'm just picturing somebody being like, yeah, no, you can eat that pie. It's perfectly safe. They're just micro shards of glass in it. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, you're drinking out of a plastic bottle. That the microscopic pieces of plastic that are in things that you eat and drink.
Yeah, but I've evolved.
Technically, one of the safest things to eat or drink out of is glass because it doesn't. Yeah. But it's not cheap.
No, everything has to be made cheap.
Cheap.
Except for the things that I make.
Yeah.
I put them through the test.
I'm willing to bet my kid breaks her birthday presents within the next 48 hours.
Those ones I made with stronger elements, so they should last me.
72 then.
Wasn't the frog adorable though?
Adorable.
Yeah, I painted that.
It looks like you put a lot of time into it. It's one color.
No, I made it green and I painted the eyes and
White
then put spots on them.
Oh. It is adorable. She loves it. Oh, man. Oh, Amanda just sent me this, though. Last night at the baseball game.
Like there was one here?
No. There was a professional baseball game. There was somebody. The camera's got a picture of a guy putting on his glove. You know, because everybody takes a glove. Look, I got your glove. It's a goalie's catcher glove. Well, for people who don't know, that glove is huge. Like, you think a first baseman's glove is big? Yeah.
Did you catch it?
No, he didn't catch that.
How cool that? Because I bet you they would have made some of them would have been like, "Can I use that?"
Right. Well, and I've seen a replay of a baseball game the other day where a guy went to catch a grounder and it was hit so hard it went through the fingers in the glove. That won't happen with a goalie man.
No.
The only way that happens is if it literally blows out the pocket and makes the skate.
The thing that always weirds me out is so in hockey we use a more dense. The puck is a lot harder.
Yeah, it's vulcanized rubber.
Yeah, but when you get them doing their shooting contest with a stick that makes the whip to add that technical kind of thing, we can shoot that thing at about around 100.
The best shooters in the world can get it around 100, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe a little over for the high, but it's about 100. Yeah, there's guys that can throw a baseball faster than that.
106 or 107, I think, is the record for fastest pitch.
Like, I know that, I don't know what, I think the weight would add more pain, but that's still, to me, I'm like, how do you do that?
Being hit with both,
it
still hurts. The vulcanized rubber, hockey pucks are heavy. Like, for those of you who don't know, if they've never picked one up. If you look at it, like, oh, okay, no, holy cow. They're pretty heavy. 8 or 9 ounces. And a baseball is like half that. But it hurts.
It's 6 ounces.
And for a hockey puck?
Yeah.
Now, the little kids get to use those blue pucks.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what a blue puck is, it's basically a handball. If you've ever played handball, those little hollow little blue balls that you play racquetball with, that's basically what a blue puck is made out of.
Literally between a baseball and a hockey puck, like 1 ounce.
1 ounce? I'd rather be hit by a baseball. Being hit by pucks and baseballs, I would take a puck.
Well, I think the other thing too is the baseball. Like, you actually watch in slow mo when it hits a bat, the baseball crumbles.
Oh yeah.
Into the bat, where a puck does not.
When a puck hits something, whatever it hits, it explodes.
Yeah. That's why Happy Gilmore could train by getting the ball into the chest.
Well, batting cages normally don't use real baseballs, they use the practice balls for that very reason. But yeah,
I like that scene.
only 364 more days to the next hockey season.
Oh, that would hurt a bit, but I'm good.
The pitching machine hits him right in the forehead. Like, trust me, if you get hit in the head, forehead, you're not.
Then that little kid goes out there, gets knocked out.
Be wary of what you try because someone's going to copy you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, our kids copy us all the time. Like, I see Kingston, and you're like, oh, it's crazy. I'm like, it just looks like you guys.
Yeah, but
He's the way he is by watching you.
No, I think he watches TV too much.
What are you letting him watch?
Bluey?
Bluey's a bad influence.
Yeah. We're going to Hamabon! My wife likes that show.
Meanwhile, my daughter was watching like animes with me when she was a child.
Oh boy. And not the good ones, I'd imagine, either.
Hit or miss.
Yeah. Like there was no, well, the first season of Dragon Ball Z was pretty, but was that Dragon Ball? I don't remember.
Well, we were watching one today, and she's like, "Oh no, he's dead!" And I was like, "Just keep watching."
Oh, Kingston did that. You're dead. And then he got up. Oh, he's okay. Like he doesn't have the concept of death yet, but he kind of knows. Like when you're laying there not moving.
I still I don't even know if my daughter has figured it out yet. I feel like even Aurora has an understanding, but doesn't really understand it. I don't know what age you finally I feel like somebody has to pass away.
I think Aurora knows what death is because we had a dog that passed, and she was really good with that dog. So until something that close happens, a pet that you're really close with, not like the goldfish.
Yeah.
Man, you dump it down the toilet, it's gone. But the dog had been with us for 12, 14 years, 13, 14 years. Anyway, long time. Since she was born.
Yeah.
But and even then I don't think she's experienced the death of a close family member or anything like that yet either.
No. Those ones are tough. Oh, one question. Why do you hate goldfish?
I hate goldfish?
Yeah, you're just like, whatever, it's just goldfish. I was just asked why you hate goldfish.
I don't hate goldfish, Mike. That's how most people dispose of them.
We had a betta fish that passed away when we were in Vancouver, and we made a burial for him.
You and your wife did?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's just because you guys are weird.
It's just how we are.
Like I get, and Amanda just sent me my wife. She's like, Aurora has been to funerals. I understand that, but I'm like the understanding. Like I'm sure Aurora understands death now. That it's like you just can't reassemble them and bring them back like short circuit.
Yeah.
When he crushes the grasshopper. But like someone like Persephone's age or younger than that, they're like, well, they're dead. Death doesn't mean anything. They don't know what it is.
Well, maybe they don't understand to be afraid of it.
Right.
Right? Because I mean, you
they don't have
maybe know what it is, but you don't understand how it happens.
And you don't have the fear of it because like, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get that until I was probably in my 20s.
I don't think people get fear of death until well later in their lives. You're too busy doing other things.
Yeah, you usually do something and go, that was close.
Okay, so this summer Aurora did have a funeral for her ladybug. I forgot about that. Like, yeah. She had a little she even wrote out the in memoriam of and all that stuff.
The eulogy?
Yeah. Well, she wrote it on a piece of paper and folded it out like you get it and all that stuff. Oh yeah. But even like yeah.
Well, it's just a kind of a crazy thought. Weird. Go a little deep.
Death sucks, but it's in the circle of life, man.
Yeah. Move on.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
When you die?
Do I?
Do you move on when you die?
Oh no, I'm gonna find whoever displeased me and bug them. And I one of the things that I kind of hope that I can pull off is, you know, if it happens when you know that it might be coming because you're getting older, I want to be able to look at Persephone and be like, if something ever randomly falls over and you don't know how, just know I'm there. Just so that when it happens, you know, that you'll get that chill. Because if my grandparents had said something like that to me, I'd be like, oh man, is that them? Even though it could have just been the cat.
Well, there's an old Celtic it's like a monster myth or legend of the banshee. Like you'd always see like the wail of the banshee didn't kill you. What it was a warning that you were about to die.
Yeah.
Wait, that would suck. Like now, 10 minutes, 20, how long I got? What? Speak up. What are you saying?
I would probably I feel like if we were in a space and we were like, did you hear that? We're like, yeah. Somebody was just saying something. Like that wasn't no banshee wail. That was
Well, but according to the lore, you see her and she wails, and then you're like, you're gonna.
Well, what if you see her and she's about to, and then you cover her?
But if it's you and me together, and we look at you like, is it you or is it me?
Yeah, who's this for?
And then she's gone. You're like, well, that's not nice.
Then we start looking for her,
Right?
and then we find out through misfit adventures that it was actually the librarian.
Oh,
Scooby Doo it.
yeah. Pulled my mask off. How did you glow?
How'd you do that? Teach us. We won't turn you in if you show us how to do it.
I don't want to know. Like that'd be crazy. That'd be the worst torture ever to know when you were going to die.
Yep. That's why they always say that it's a curse to know.
Right.
Because there's always those things where it's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to know when you're gonna die?
No.
Because then on that day, you'd be like, what?
Live every day like you're gonna die, but don't live every day like you're like you know you're gonna die. Right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I mean, just live every day to its fullest.
Yeah.
Oh, and a quick tidbit. Do you know why? And I found this out this last week. Remember as a kid, like time just seemed to just crawl by? Like when you were really little, like it just like school year took forever. Everything took forever.
Yeah.
Now as you're an adult, you're like, geez, what the? You know what it is? There's an actual explanation behind it. When you're a kid like that, everything is so new. You're developing new memories. So your brain is actually having to function and work. You're not on just cruise control. So as you get older and you just literally relive every day over like Groundhog Day, your day's the same every day, right? Nothing new happens. And the only time that anything that really stands out to you is something that hasn't happened before. Like we went to a place we'd never been before. That memory sticks with you. That seems to stick out. So the older you get and the more repetitive your life gets, that's why it seems like life seems to go faster. Because you're literally living your life on autopilot. So there are ways to counter it. You get old, go crazy, and spend your money and do all kinds of weird stuff you've never done before.
That's going to be so fun.
Right? I'm too broke to do that.
You know, you could live in a tent.
Because, I mean, think about it. Like, every hockey season for you is pretty much probably blended together.
I don't know. Playing with you guys gives me a different experience.
But that's changed. Up until that point, hockey, it's hockey, whatever. Something big changed.
Maybe.
Right? That first season that we played together was probably one of the better or longer seasons. And then since then, you're like, whatever, we're playing hockey. I'm going to flutter it over his glove 8 times in the next 6 weeks.
I don't know. I always try to think of different ways to insult you.
You do.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like to try to poke at Amanda when she's in net to see if it makes it so I can.
Just to see if it makes a problem. Yeah. You know the outcome of that. You're either going to end up eating a stick or wearing one.
I think I'm saving other people.
Taking one for the team.
I try to do it to you when I'm playing against you. I try to get you a little mad at me.
You've done it once.
What?
No, you did it on purpose once because you knew I was having a really bad game. So, you know what? I'm just going to make him mad because he's one of those idiots who plays better when he's mad.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, I'm like, I don't care. But if you get me mad, I'm like,
I like getting people mad and then seeing if they're still mad at me later.
That's one of the, I've met a lot of people who don't play well mad. So that's fun. You just poke at them and they try harder and they get worse and worse and worse. I'm not that way.
Well, that being said, it's 4:00. Man, this went on forever. We must have been making new memories.
It flew by.
But you've been listening to Average Rants here at KNMC
90.1.
F. What a song to come on up here.